Good morning. I decided to do a voiceover. There was a lot going on around me.
Video does show that.
So first things first, we're going to be unmolding some things, but I want to tell you what's going on. I did receive my shipment of Epidex. That's what that bottle was, just briefly. A previous video does show that. And the snail that I'm working on, I used a deep pour resin for that snail. Won't be ready until tomorrow, but that's the liquid glass that I use for that.
Really nice.
I wanted to let you know.
I still got one more pour to do because
there's the up close of the flower. It's poured up to about center of that flower. I will finish that off today. So I wanted to show you that I now have a set of 4 of those coasters that I made the mold of. I think they are just super cool. I'm crazy like that. Now let's get started. Sorry, I had to take a brief moment. This first is going to be the honeybee jar, or the honey jar. So the jar itself looks like a honeycomb. Okay. Now what I used was Let's Resin and a black and dark gold flake, like foil flake, and I'll show you here in a minute. And I ordered it off of Amazon, but it's a, it's going to be pretty much transparent except for seeing that flake. I think it turned out pretty cool. And for the lid, let's go over here. I'm going to show you. That's the flake. I'm going to be super careful opening that for you. It's super fine and flaky, but it's dark gold and black. All right, for the lid, I used Pro Marine mica. You'll see all this later on in the video where I give you an up close. Now, I dusted that on the lid and then poured the resin and the full flake mixture into it. I think that this turned out wonderful. I absolutely love this. All right. So that is absolutely beautiful. If you hold it up to the light, you can actually see through it, but I think it turned out perfect. All right, so right now I'm working on a piece for a friend where her daughter lost her pup. So I've been working with different colors, just trying to decide what's best for her. And so I made some of these keychains. I wanted to show you, I poured that little heart center, that little centerpiece. That's what that little piece was. That is actually a sky blue from Pro Marine mica. And of course, if you know me, I love this wreath, this little wreath, rose wreath mold. So every chance I get, if I've got extra resin, I pour it into that. See, it's just adorable. So, I love these little trinket bowls. I told you one time if I could have a dozen of them, I'd pour a dozen at one time. I did actually order some more the other day. So, yeah, I don't know. 5 years from now, I'll probably have 100 of them sitting somewhere, and somebody will say, what in the world was wrong with you? And I'll be like, yeah, I don't know. I went through that bad. But I actually use these for things like dipping my paintbrush in, washing it off, mixing up a little dab of acrylic, just different things like that. And that's that red from Eye Candy, Rose Red. Now I'm showing you here that I used Eye Candy's Neon Mix. They're micas. There's the box. I'll open the box and show you briefly. I did dirty pour in this frog, and I love this frog. Love this frog. He's so cute, and when you get him out, you're going to see that he is smiling at you. There we go. And don't you just love his little purple paw? I'm just in love with that frog. And let's see. We're on to my turtles. Okay, so I got these 2 turtle molds in yesterday. If you've seen one of my previous videos where I'm doing like the mushroom in a pond thing, I wanted a little turtle for that mushroom scene. I will be making more of those, so I wanted to make sure I had everything together so I could make it. That little turtle. I'm going to show you that I used the Pro Marine mica for his shell, and I'm going to disappear off camera just for a second here because I want to show you that I used the emerald green eye candy for its little head and its little tail. So just a brief moment and I will be back on the screen. There we go. Emerald green for his little head and his little tail. And he's so cute. I'm just loving him there. And of course, there's twinsies. I gotta have two. Gotta have two. I'm crazy like that. Gotta have two. There we go. Twinsies. Okay. Now, we're going to do my gnome, because if you've got a neon frog, you're going to have a neon gnome. So that's what we're doing here. I'm showing you that I use the eye candy mica pigments there. And I love these pink molds. They are so easy. And I think that the reason they are that way is because they're originally made for candles. There we go. Now what I'm going to notice here, and it's hard to see, but I notice it, is that the mica wasn't mixing up real well. Now when I poured this last night, I didn't want to open up a new jug of my Let's Resin. So I had some of the, a couple of the smaller sets there of the quick set, which is a thicker, 4-hour setting. And I had, a little bit of trouble trying to get that mica to mix in with it, but that's just for me. I'm the one that notices it. Everybody else will probably think it's supposed to be that way. Now this red jar I'm unmolding here, the other day on one of my videos, I had made the lid for it, and did not realize, because I was just pouring so much, that I had failed to pour the jar. So that's what I'm doing, is making up for my oopsie, and I poured the jar. And again, that is my new favorite for right now with the things that I'm making, and that's the red rose from Eye Candy Mica. So give me a second here. I will figure out that the jar lid does go on the jar. It just takes me a good minute. And then of course I'm going to show you one of those wreaths in white. It's a pearl white that I think I might place on top of that red jar. I just love that color, guys. It's just absolutely beautiful. Okay, so this right here, I'm just telling you, I don't know why. I don't get rid of resin. If I've got some mixed up and I have extra, then that's what I do, and that's what this coaster is. It is sky blue from Pro Marine Mica and sea glass from Glitter Makes It. Now we're going to get this out of the way, and we're going to get to the main thing of today, because I'm working on all these different sets. Now, this dish is absolutely beautiful. I'll show you at the end the different glitters and pigments that I used in there. I don't believe that the camera does anything justice. So here I'm going to briefly show you. Sea glass from Glitter Makes It. And that right there, I got that. And then I added a drop of this pigment. And I'll show you, I just got these pigments in. I ordered them from Amazon. I'll show you the box. There's the box of pigments. Now I'll have close-up pictures of all this at the end, so you can have a better idea. So with my bathtubs and coasters and stuff, sorry that camera got jostled because my husband was putting some stuff up on the shelf for me. We're good. So anyway, back to it. I like to make matching everything as far as possible. I like to think if it can be made, it can match. So that's what these were matching. The dish, I had a couple of coasters made. And And then the bathtub, I don't usually put the feet on the bathtub. I mount the bathtub to the dish. Sometimes I'll put one of those little trinket things on a dish too. You know, us women, we find things to do with, you know, everything. And you have that dish sitting there, you can put your face sponge in it or whatever and lay your tweezers on the dish around it. Now that is my mold release and conditioner that I use. I'll show you up close which one that is. I use that all the time. I think it does help to keep my molds in good shape. There's not anything that helps your hands if you're doing this without gloves, but I just don't feel like I need gloves to unmold everything. That's just me. PPE is very important, but that's just me. I'm continuously using lotions and stuff like that to make sure that my hands don't get really bad. So, see how easy that come off? Look how pretty that is. And I'll just mount that to that. See? All right. Now we're going to go from this to just some screenshots, some photos of the different items up close. Pictures just don't do justice, I don't believe. And I'm using a photography mode here, trying to get some better images. You'll notice the little flakes in his little hat, but it all works out good. There's my turtles. Love my turtles. There's the bee on the lid. I just love that jar. Now we're going to show you some of the products that I use here. And that's Pro Marine, that brand there, those micas. Now I don't know the brand of the flake, but I got it off Amazon. Some more Pro Marine, eye candy. And there is the spray release that I use, and this is the pigment colors that I just got in. It's a large box of them. Pro Marine, sky blue, and glitter makes it sea glass. And there's your neon colors from eye candy.